Morning everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to another Friday Assembly. I wonder if you can guess where we are today.
Where are we? Where are we?
It's pretty obvious, isn't it? Because of all the books. Look, we've got in the wonderful library. Oh, what are you doing up there, Ted? Come on, come down, come on, jump, jump, jump. I'll catch you. Well done. Right. He likes being in assemblies now. So today we've got lots to talk you through, but we're going to start with some really exciting things, Mrs. Wilkinson, because you've got some things to announce, haven't you?
Well, I have got some very exciting things to announce because it's amazing how busy you all have been while you've been working at home, and we have been so impressed, not just with the work that you've done, but we know there are so many of you that are carrying on reading, and our accelerated reader scores are keeping going, but we are so proud that some people have been reading so much that they have actually achieved their reading millionaires. So I would like to say the children who have achieved a reading millionaire, one of these fantastic purple badges will be on their way to you very soon, and it's a huge congratulations for their first reading millionaire badge to Artus in year 5, to Sophie in year 6, to Erin in year 6, to Hope in year 6, and to Harry, who's in year 3, to Saxon in year 3, and finally to Ellie, who's in year 3. So a huge well done to you children who have got their first reading millionaire, but there's more, because not only do we have a millionaire badge, we also have Raoul, who is in year 6, who has become a double millionaire. So he's read more than 2 million words, which is a fantastic achievement. So huge congratulations to him. But finally, we also have one young lady in year 6 as well, who has not only become a double millionaire, she has become a triple millionaire, reading more than 3 million words since September. So a huge, huge congratulations to Lorelei. Keep it up, and let's see if next time I see you, maybe we can have even more reading millionaires, Mr. Ayres, which would be fantastic. So congratulations to all of those children, because you've done a fantastic job. But the rest of you, let's see if we can get you reading a little bit more. So don't forget to use your AR and keep quizzing as we're going forwards. Okay, I also have more news.
Go for it.
More news is that not only do we like you reading, but we are also, our school has been entered into a Times Table Rockstar quiz with all the other schools in Schools Works. So that's 7 of us.
Yeah, 7 altogether.
7 altogether. 7 different schools. There's a competition for Times Tables Rockstars. Would you be interested in helping us to achieve a really high score in Times Table Rockstars? I think Miss Broadhurst posted out some information yesterday, but she will be doing a special post on Sunday morning this week, telling you a little bit more about it and seeing how you can get involved in our Times Table Rockstars. I think currently, Mr. Ayres, we're sitting in 4th place. Out of 7, we're sitting in 4th, but we'd like to see if we can move up that scale a little bit. So if you're interested in helping us with Times Table Rockstars and getting a little bit of extra practice in, watch Facebook on Sunday morning when Miss Broadhurst will be giving you a little bit more information about it. So be prepared. But I'm going to start with all of those things because I know today is a very special day. Not only is it Friday, but Mr. Ayres, it's also a very special day.
Well, it is. And are we going to do some marble runs as well?
Oh, I
Before?
forgot about
Doesn't
that.
matter.
I forgot about that.
That's what
I
live
got carried
TV
away. I
is
got
all
carried
about.
away.
This is what
Sorry.
live TV is all about, things like this.
I forgot.
So, if we do some marble
Good,
runs,
you
because,
mentioned it.
yeah, you were going to mention those, weren't you?
Oh,
You've
we
seen
have-
some good ones, haven't you?
Weren't they amazing? Absolutely amazing. Thank you to all our mums and dads and to all the children who took part, because it really was amazing. We're not going to choose a winner because we just thought they were all so brilliant.
They were also brilliant.
Yes, so we're not going to do that, but we are really impressed by all of the things that you did, and congratulations. Spot on. Any more?
No.
Okay, let's move on. Moving on. Let's think of it, because as I told you before, that today...
Hey, today's a special day.
It's a special day.
It is a special day.
You can tell us a bit more.
Right, well, does anybody know why today is a special day? Well, the date is May the 8th. So, it's not May the 4th, it's not Star Wars Day, we've had that. They did some wonderful lightsabers, by the way, on that day. That was fantastic. But today is May the 8th. And we are celebrating a very, very special commemoration that happened 75 years ago. Have you guessed what I'm talking about yet? I'm talking about a celebration called... Do you think they've got it, Mrs. Wilkinson?
I bet they have. I bet they have.
It's called VE Day. And VE Day stands for what? Well done, most of you. It is Victory in Europe. Now, victory when, I hear you asking? We're talking about something that happened 75 years ago, because VE Day celebrates the end of World War II in Europe. Now, unfortunately, World War II did carry on for a little bit after that as well. But in Europe, it finished on May the 8th. And they had these wonderful celebrations, and all of the country came out and did street parties. They cooked, they baked, they danced, and they all went into the streets and celebrated this wonderful, wonderful day, because they were so, so happy and relieved that the war had finally ended in Europe. So in London, all of the people, hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of people, all went towards Buckingham Palace, because who lives in Buckingham Palace? That's right, it is the Queen now, but back then it was actually the King. It was King George VI, and he gave a big speech, and Winston Churchill, who was the Prime Minister, he gave a big speech, and he told everyone that we will allow ourselves a brief moment of rejoicement, I think, something like that. And he basically was saying we could have a day of real big celebrations, but the war was still carrying on, unfortunately. And what they did was everyone gathered in these huge crowds like you will not be seeing at the moment, by the way.
Oh,
we need to move around.
I need to move. Right,
there we go. Our lights are on a sensor, so we obviously didn't move enough. Where did I get to before the sensor cut us off? The crowds. So the crowds came to London, and even my parents were there. Actually, Mrs. Wilkinson, they were there, and they remember it quite well. And they used to tell me that they couldn't get anywhere near Buckingham Palace because there was just so many people. And if you have a look at these pictures that we're about to show, you will see just how many people were all congregated in one place just to celebrate this magnificent achievement. Right, weren't those pictures absolutely amazing? You would have seen so many people came and celebrated this wonderful event. And what we've got here to show, I'm just going to put you over here for a minute, Ted. There you go, sit there. You'll be fine, I won't only be a minute. We've got a newspaper. I'm going to open it very carefully because, Mrs. Wilkinson, can you see this is actually an original newspaper from the day. Britain's Day of Rejoicing, it says, and as you can see, it's very, very old. It's going a bit yellow. You can see some of the crowds. You can see here St. Paul's Cathedral lit up with spotlights and a big V for victory. And so that newspaper is 75 years old today, which is amazing.
Does that belong to you?
Yes, this is an original paper that we've had for a very, very long time, and it cost 1 penny.
Oh.
1 penny. That was probably quite a lot of money in those days.
Probably.
But now, couldn't get a lot for 1 penny, could you? So, that's what VE Day was all about. And we mentioned that they did some cooking.
We did.
And they did lots of baking. And, Mrs. Wilkinson, I'm going to bring in, just in true Blue Peter style,
one that we've made earlier.
one that you made earlier.
One that we made earlier.
1 second.
Bring it in, Mr. Ez.
Here we go.
Don't get too excited. It's not that special.
Now,
Let's remove all my batteries out of the way.
we couldn't find a plate that had the same shape as this doily.
No.
So, why is it called a doily? Nobody. Does
Absolutely
anybody
no.
know why
it's called a doily?
So
Maybe
one
someone can
challenge.
find it out for
One
us.
challenge is why is this called a doily? Because that's a really funny word, isn't it? Doily.
Yes.
So anyway, it makes
As we
me laugh.
talked about
So,
before.
tell us about your cake.
Well, I was thinking about what we could do for VE Day and what we could do to set a challenge for this week. We did the mob room last week. We wanted to do something completely different.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about it and I was thinking, what can we do? So I racked my brains and came up with maybe we all like eating. We all like cake. We all like eating. So maybe we could make a cake that was using the rations that came from the 1940s.
Ooh.
So,
Good idea.
hence,
Good idea.
I have made, it's only small, believe me, I think that might be enough.
Okay, well.
We've made this. This is a gingerbread cake.
Ooh, nice.
It's made from literally the same recipe that they would have used in the 1940s. It doesn't contain any eggs, and it's the first ever cake that I've made in my life that I've put vinegar in.
Vinegar?
Yes.
I'm not sure I'm going to like that.
Well, do you know what? You are the taste tester.
Oh, yay! I mean, yay!
So I was wondering if you'd like to try this 1940s cake. You don't have to. There's no obligation to try, but
We'll try.
I'd be very offended if you didn't.
Vinegar. Why did they put vinegar in?
I think because there was no egg in it, they needed a raising agent. So I think they combined vinegar with bicarbonate of soda that caused
So
Look
their
at that.
eggs were in short supply?
very
Or?
short supply. And I think you could only... There we go. You could only get a small amount, so it was
Bit
very
like today.
temperate. Yes, it is, to be fair. Very
Yeah.
like today.
Right,
Um,
okay.
I thought you might like to give it a try. You don't have to.
Yeah, no, in a minute. Right, here we
I know.
go.
I knew Mr. S liked ginger, so
Yes,
maybe
I
that's
do
the
like
same
ginger,
bit. But I'm
so
not quite sure
here we
whether he
go.
likes
Here we
vinegar
go.
or not.
I do like vinegar, but not normally on cake.
No, I didn't sprinkle it on. Can you taste the vinegar?
You can.
Can you?
Mm.
Oh gosh. Is it bad?
No, it's very tasty.
Oh, good.
You can definitely taste a hint of vinegar.
Mm.
I like it.
Oh,
I like it.
wow.
Well done, Mrs. Wilkinson. So this is an original recipe.
That is an absolute original recipe from the 1940s. But
Wow.
I wondered, maybe, your challenge this week, have you ever thought of making a cake that using an original 1940s recipe? The things you have to put in are completely different to the things you might buy today. But this was just a test and a sample to see if I could do it. But I'm sure you could do something that was even better. And do you know what? We'd love to see little video clips of you and your family maybe taste testing
Ooh.
some of the things that you've been baking and some of the things that you've actually got them to try with a little bit of a recipe that told us what are the sort of things you
So
put in.
did you get the recipe on the internet?
I did, to be fair. I did get the recipe on the internet. There was loads and loads there, but I personally quite like ginger cake. So
Yeah.
I did sort of go for one that I preferred. And I knew you would like it.
I do like ginger, but I'm just
Maybe not the cake.
just not used to having it
No.
with vinegar.
No,
That's
very
really
different.
interesting.
Very different. So,
Because back then as well, they would have had the recipes passed down
yes.
from generation to generation.
Absolutely,
wouldn't they?
absolutely, yes. So it's a shame my grandparents haven't passed them down to me, which would be a bit of a shame.
Mm.
But, never mind. We've got a trial.
Right. So
This is our first challenge. Our second challenge.
second
This
challenge.
is our second challenge. Are you interested in taking up? And we would love to see your pictures maybe in our next assembly.
Brilliant. Right.
Okay.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilkinson.
And thank you, Mr. Reyes. Thank you for trusting it.
Yeah, no, it was
And you're
great.
still seated?
Yes. No, we're still here. We're still good.
Good, good.
So we will see you next time on our next assembly, and hopefully you can email in some of the pictures of your cake. Right. So
Yes,
have a
please.
great week.
Have a great week.
Stay safe.
Stay safe, take care, and see you very soon.
Bye.
Bye.